Welcome to this deep dive into Australia's most amazing and fun facts. Whether you're planning to visit, move, or just want to know more about the land down under, this video is packed with facts that will blow your mind. Make sure to watch until the end because some of these are truly unbelievable. And if you love content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates and drop a comment below. Australia's indigenous history is over 65,000 years old. The Aboriginal people have lived on this land longer than any other civilization. This fact demonstrates why a connection to country is so important to Aboriginal communities that have relied upon and managed the land for generations before British colonization. I will run through more fascinating facts about Aboriginal culture in Australia. Despite outdated depictions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, Indigenous culture is all around us and heavily influences the way we live today. Just under 35% of Indigenous Australian people live in cities. Around 44% reside in regional towns. Only 21% live in more remote areas. Why is it important to learn about Aboriginal culture? These figures show that cultural awareness applies to us all regardless of where we live. Many people assume that most Aboriginal communities are based in more remote regions, but the fact is that more First Nations people live in Eastern Australia than anywhere else. Around a third of the Indigenous population is based in New South Wales. However, it is correct that approximately 30% of people in the Northern Territory identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. There are over 100 active Aboriginal languages. In the 18th century, there were 250 languages spoken by Indigenous peoples throughout Australia. Today, over 145 languages remain in use, although the exact figure is often debated. Around 20 to 40 of these languages are spoken daily with dialects unique to their communities, so there are hundreds of different tribes and each has a characteristic language and established practices. Not surprising when you consider that Australia is bigger than the whole of Europe. Stories form an important part of Indigenous tradition. Cultural knowledge is shared from one generation to the next through a blend of spoken stories, music, song, and ritual. Music is present in every aspect of the culture, from instruments such as the didgeridoo to traditional songs and ceremonies. There are also many contemporary singers and bands of Indigenous descent that provide an excellent opportunity to immerse yourself in learning about music and song. The history books are wrong about the last Tasmanian Aboriginal person. European colonists considered Truganini the last Aboriginal Tasmanian, but they're wrong. Truganini lived from around 1812 until 8th May 1876. Fanny Cochrane Smith passed away in 1905 at age. Her life story is an incredible tale of resilience, and her descendants are still alive today. This being said, the idea of the last Tasmanian Aboriginal person is a myth, as the region continues to have a thriving community of and alive to this day. One of the most common misconceptions about Australia is that kangaroo meat is a staple in every household. Kangaroo is one of the few meats you can legally eat that comes from an animal on the national emblem. It's actually not that popular among Australians. But why? Some say it's because Australians feel a sentimental attachment to kangaroos, while others believe it has a strong gamey taste. However, kangaroo meat is extremely lean, high in protein, and environmentally sustainable because it requires fewer resources than cattle farming. Tim Tams are Australia's most iconic chocolate biscuits, and while they taste great on their own, true Australians know about the Tim Tam Slam. This involves biting off opposite corners of the biscuit. As the warm liquid melts, the chocolate inside the biscuit, which becomes soft and gooey, creating the ultimate indulgent treat. The Tim Tam Slam is so popular that even celebrities visiting Australia like Hugh Jackman have demonstrated it on talk shows worldwide. Vegemite is Australia's most divisive food. It's a dark, salty spread made from yeast extract, and while most Aussies love it, tourists often find it unbearable. The secret to enjoying Vegemite is spreading it thinly on buttered toast, so they develop a taste for its strong, umami flavor. But for first-timers, it can be shockingly intense. Vegemite is a nutritional powerhouse packed with B vitamins and remains a staple in many Aussie households. Fairy bread is one of Australia's quirkiest childhood snacks. It's incredibly simple. White bread, butter, and colorful sprinkles called hundreds and thousands. No one really knows who invented it, but it's been a birthday party tradition in Australia for decades. The combination of fluffy white bread and crunchy, but for Aussies, it's the taste of childhood nostalgia. While some people outside Australia might see it as just buttered bread with sprinkles, it remains one of the country's most beloved sweet treats. Australia is infamous for being home to some of the deadliest creatures on the planet, with its diverse and sometimes dangerous wildlife, drawing both fascination and fear from people worldwide. From venomous snakes and lethal sea creatures to powerful predators lurking in the outback. The country's biodiversity includes some of the most formidable animals ever documented. However, despite their deadly potential, fatal encounters with these creatures are surprisingly rare, thanks to strong anti-venom programs, rapid medical responses, and increased public awareness. One of the most notorious creatures is the inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake or the small-scaled snake. This serpent holds the record for having the most potent venom of any snake on Earth. A single bite from an inland taipan contains enough venom to kill 100 adult humans or over 250,000 mice. What makes this venom particularly deadly is its ability to shut down the nervous system and cause internal bleeding within minutes. Fortunately, this snake is rarely encountered in the wild, as it lives in remote regions of central Australia and is known for being reclusive and non-aggressive, meaning bites to humans are extremely uncommon. Another highly dangerous creature lurking in Australian waters is the box jellyfish, considered one of the most venomous marine animals in existence. Its nearly invisible tentacles, which can grow up to 3 meters 10 feet long, are covered in thousands of nematocysts, tiny harpoon-like structures that inject powerful toxins into their victims. A sting from a box jellyfish can cause intense pain, cardiac arrest, paralysis, and even death within minutes. These jellyfish are particularly common in the warm coastal waters of northern Australia, especially near Queensland and the Northern Territory, where swimming restrictions are often put in place during peak jellyfish season. Interestingly, the box jellyfish is responsible for more deaths in Australia than sharks, crocodiles, and snakes combined, making it one of the most feared creatures in the country's waters. On land, Australia is also home to the Sydney funnel web spider, a species known for its aggressive nature and highly toxic bite. Unlike many other spiders that flee from humans, the Sydney funnel web is notoriously defensive and will rear up and strike repeatedly if provoked. Its fangs are powerful enough to pierce fingernails and even soft shoes, delivering a venom that attacks the nervous system, causing severe pain, muscle spasms, difficulty breathing, and potentially death if untreated. However, since the introduction of an effective anti-venom program in 1981, there have been 0 recorded deaths from Sydney funnel web bites, showcasing the success of Australia's advanced medical responses to venomous animal encounters. With a human population of around 26 million, Australia is outnumbered by its estimated 50 million kangaroos. In some areas, kangaroos are so common that they pose a hazard on highways, causing thousands of car accidents every year. In fact, their population is so large that controlled culling programs exist to prevent overpopulation, as unchecked numbers can lead to food shortages and damage to local ecosystems. Koalas might look cute and cuddly, but they are one of the sleepiest animals on Earth. They can sleep between 18 to 22 hours a day because their diet consists mostly of eucalyptus leaves, which are low in nutrients and hard to digest. Since their bodies work overtime to break down the toxins in eucalyptus, they conserve energy by sleeping most of the time. The platypus is one of the strangest creatures on Earth. It has the bill of a duck. Even more bizarre, it lays eggs but is still classified as a mammal. When British scientists first saw a platypus, they thought it was a hoax and suspected someone had stitched different animals together. Another shocking fact, male platypuses are venomous. They have spurs on their hind legs that can inject a painful toxin into predators.